Hi, my name is Rebecca, and this is Yarn and Pajamas, and today is hashtag Movie and Stitch. So today I am going to talk about my iMovie, which was Interstellar, show you the project that I worked on, and then talk to you about my upcoming movies, which is going to be a double feature. So I'm going to do J and K for the next hashtag Movie and Stitch. So let's just hop right on into my letter I. So for the movie, I watched Interstellar, and I've brought it up here on IMDb, so I will give you some of the specifics about it. It was made in 2014. It is rated PG-13, and it is 2 hours and 49 minutes long. And yes, I did just say 2 hours and 49 minutes. This movie was 3 hours long. Oh my goodness, I did not know that going into it. So if you choose to watch it, be prepared. It is 3 hours long. So its little tagline says, a team of explorers travel through a wormhole in space in an attempt to ensure humanity's survival. So it is one of the survival type movies. So here is who plays in this movie. We've got Ellen Burstyn, Matthew McConaughey, Mackenzie Foy, John Lithgow, Timothy Chalamet, Colette Wolfe, Bill Irwin, it's just his voice, Anne Hathaway, Andrew Borba, Wes Bentley, who plays on Yellowstone. If you don't watch Yellowstone, then you don't know what you're missing, because that is a good show. You've got Michael Caine, David Gassey, Josh Stewart, he is just his voice as well, Casey Affleck, Jessica Chastain, Topher Grace, Matt Damon, and just like a bunch of other people. Okay, so I'm going to say up front that this movie, I'm going to give it a 2 thumbs up. I really did enjoy this movie. It was very interesting. It was, close to 3 hours long, and I was a little worried about that when I pushed pause to go get me something to drink like 3 minutes into the movie. And I was like, what? It's like 2 hours and 50 minutes long? This is insane. So I was a little worried there. So I did have to rent this off of Amazon Prime Video. If you have Hulu Plus, the really nice Hulu package, it's free on there. But I don't have that really nice Hulu package. I just have that basic $5.99 package. And it wasn't free for me. But I rented it from Amazon. It was like $3.99, which is not a bad deal for renting movies. So it is it's about, space. It's a little sciencey. There was some times when they were talking about some things, and I was like, can't even grasp that. Because my mind is not sciencey, I guess. It's not mathematical or sciencey. So, but it only happened like a few times. And another thing that I was a little bit confused on is there are 2 robots in this movie. And these robots are like soldiers. They were built for like war and stuff, and they're like almost indestructible, and they're like big rectangle looking things, and then their arms come out and their head. It's like they're just weird looking robots. But it's Case and Tars, and that's the 2 guys that it was just their voice. But in the beginning, I didn't know that, and I was like, who's talking? Who said that? Because their voices are human. They don't sound robotic, or you didn't really know what was going on. So there was that. But once I figured out it was those robots talking, I was a little bit better off. So this movie, it was so good. I really enjoyed it. So you got Matthew McConaughey. He plays Cooper, who used to be like a NASA pilot and an engineer. And he's now a farmer, because the world was so focused on technology that they forgot about the one thing that we needed in order to survive, which was food. So, technology kind of became shoved back to the wayside. Like, Facebook left and Twitter left, and nobody had time for that stuff because they were out working in the fields because we needed food. Everybody was starving. And then I think something was going on, like maybe with the weather, because there was a lot of dust. There were dust storms and lots of dust. So maybe it didn't rain a whole lot, but there were like ponds and lakes and stuff. But maybe the weather was just deteriorating. It doesn't say, but it made you feel like that. So you've got Matthew McConaughey, who's farming. He lives with his daughter, Murphy, and his son, Tom. And they are quite young. Like, Murphy's like around like age 10. Tom's around like 15 or 16. And his wife has already passed away. And he does state in the movie at one point when he's talking to one of Murphy's teachers about like technology, that's saying that if they still had MRI machines, then they would have found her brain bleed and been able to fix it and not have found it at her autopsy. So it leads me to think like they really did like push as much technology to the back as they could. So he also lives with his father-in-law, who helps with the children. But he is not happy as a farmer. He longs for the life that he used to have, where he, flew and created things like, done his engineering. And he does all kinds of nifty things with like what technology he does find. Like he makes his, combines and all of that stuff like very electronic and robotic, and solar cells and all of that stuff. Well, his daughter Murphy states one day that she has a ghost living in her room, and this ghost is trying to communicate with her, and she thinks that it's trying to communicate in Morse code. Well, during a sandstorm or dust storm, Cooper and Murphy see that the dust is falling in a pattern, and lo and behold, it's Morse code, and he figures it out, and it is coordinates, latitude and longitude. So he decides to follow those coordinates, and Murphy is a stowaway. He doesn't know that she's going, but she ends up going. Well, it ends up taking him to NASA underground. So NASA is like this secret place underground because, NASA should have been disbanded and all of that. Excuse me. And with talking with NASA, we learn, the world is ending. It's going away. There's disease that's eating the crops up. The only crop that's left that's withstood and resisted this disease is corn, but they don't suspect that it's going to last much longer, and corn will fall and then we'll starve. But they have a solution. They found a wormhole out in space. They sure did. So they found this wormhole like 42 years ago. And they recently, however long recent is to these people, sent out 12 missions because they found 12 viable planets within this other solar system. So they sent 12 people to collect data and see which ones are the most viable. I think I just said that. Now they have to send another mission out because they have some of the data back, and they think they have 3 viable options. They need a pilot. Oh my gosh, and the pilot found them. Didn't that just work out so good? Yeah. So Matthew McConaughey, because he's been longing for this, decides, heck yes, I'm going to go on the condition that I get to come back to my children. So yeah, so he goes. And that's pretty much where the movie starts. That's where it started for me. Because up until this point, I was just like, is something going to happen? I mean, other than, finding NASA or whatnot. But, every, like, science fiction, like, book you read or science fiction movie, it has to build that world. And sometimes the world that they build is boring. And that's what I felt like this one was, just like a blah world. It's like, corn is all we've got. It's a dusty, whatnot. I want to see some space. And buddy, when they start getting out in space, which is the majority of the movie, that's where it gets interesting. And so I'm telling you, if you've got 3 hours and $4 to kill, rent this movie off of Amazon Prime Video, because I don't think you would be disappointed. Now, you would really have to hate space and science to dislike this movie, but I really liked it. Like I said, I give it 2 thumbs up. All of the acting was good. One of my favorites was he played Romley. I believe his name was David Geissy. He played Romley. I really liked him. And Anne Hathaway done good. Matt Damon was, good. Jessica I mean, they were all, like, really, really good. So, the acting was way up there. It was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. So, while I was watching it, I had plenty of time to crochet my square and my appliques, because the appliques were really easy and the squares really easy. So, not a whole lot of thought had to go into it. And so, here's my square this week for the eye. It was super, super simple. So, as always, my square is by Maria's Blue Crayon. It's the Granny Square 2.0. And the appliques are by the Moogly blog. You've got the uppercase and then the lowercase I here. And I did sew them on. And there we have it. And I'll put all of the links down below. So the yarn that I used, this pink here, is called Pink Neon. It's by I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. And then the speckly yarn that I used for the letters there is I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby in the colorway Fruit Salad. So there we have it. A nice little block to put in my collection. And pretty soon I'm going to show you guys, like, all of the blocks that I have so far, like, all together, and see what you guys think. So, I've got 2 movies. I'm doing a double feature next week. I remember when I first watched the announcement videos that someone, it could have been more than one person, said that in order to complete the Movie and Stitch, hashtag Movie and Stitch, in this year, that you would have to do a double feature because we started late. And I think that I'm going to have to do another double feature because I even pushed mine out further than everyone else so that I could get on a different week than my podcast videos. So, yeah. So this won't be the last double feature, but I'm doing a double feature for J and K. So for my J movie, I'm watching a movie that I found on Amazon Prime. It's an Amazon Prime free one, so if you have Amazon Prime, it's free. It's called Jungle, and it looks like it stars Daniel Radcliffe, like from Harry Potter. So the trailer looked really, really good. Looks like, he gets lost in the jungle. He has to survive, one of those type of movies. So I really like that. And then for my K movie, I found this on HBO Max, and it's The King of Staten Island. I've wanted to watch this one for a while, and I'm not counting the word the, because HBO Max did not count the word the. When I went and searched alphabetically, it popped up in K, so I'm going with it. So, these are the 2 movies that I'm going to watch, and I'm going to review for you in 2 weeks, and I'm going to have some more squares to show you guys. And yeah, so if you get a chance to watch Interstellar, if you own it and haven't watched it, you should watch it. If you, like I said, had a few dollars to burn, rent it. And if you got that Hulu Plus, then it's free on there. So I will see you guys later. And you guys have a good week. Bye.